Going on, everybody? It's your boy, that Pens fan 412, coming back at you with the first video of 2023. I'm talking about the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. If you're in America, of course, or anywhere else that celebrates the new year at the end of December going into January, Happy New Year. Um, did everybody have a good New Year? New Year's Eve? Anything good? Anything special? As a Penguins fan, I was extremely excited because the first game I got to cover on the channel of the new year was the Winter Classic, which, by the way, I will say this now. We just so everybody knows, video might be a little bit longer than usual, just because there's a lot of things that need to be talked about. And yeah, so let's get into it real quick here. Let's go ahead and let's pour into it. So it's the Winter Classic. It's in Fenway. It's in Boston. It's the Boston Bruins versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's talk about the jerseys first of all. You can see over here to my if you're looking at the video from a screen, technically it's my right. This is my right. This is the Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. Now, the thing I knew going into this is that both teams represent the black and gold. One team did it long before the other team. Take a guess who? I'll give you time. I've got time. See, I've got time. It was Boston. Believe it or not, Boston was a team long before the Penguins, and therefore they got to have their selection of, well, the black and gold in this wonderfully pixelated image, because I just thought of this as a random idea and therefore did not do a lot of expert research into getting a perfect picture as a background. Sorry, my bad. But look at it. It's pretty nice. I like the little bear down there. That's pretty cool. Pretty nice jersey. The Penguins with the vintage, throwing it back real quick with the off like eggshell white. I'm more towards, believe it or not, as a Penguins fan, I lead more towards the Penguins jersey because I think it does look pretty nice. It's very vintage looking, very nice. I'm not going to say that Boston's jersey is not clean, because it's clean. It's nice. But that Penguins jersey, though, which we'll probably never see again, given the circumstances of this Winter Classic. That being said, both teams wore baseball uniforms going into the game. Apparently, Boston has been planning to wear this uniform for like a year now. They have just been shopping at the bit. They're like, we're going to do it, and it's going to be awesome, and everybody's going to talk about it. And that's exactly what happened. Is everybody talked about it. They're like, oh man, look at those dudes look like baseball players walking out there. They got the uniforms on and everything. It looks nice. It looks tough. And then the Penguins had to do it because if Boston does it, then we got to throw something together, right? So we did. Um, yeah, so that was cool. And then you get to the game, right? There's a nice little ceremony in the beginning. The Star Spangled Banner gets nice and thrown out there. Everything, it was nice. The park was full. There was a lot of people there, which is always good for these kind of events. It's one of those years where the weather was actually nice, and it kind of like the moment I saw the ice surface, I was like, that's dangerous. That is dangerous. That looks thin, super thin. Like somebody stomped their foot out there, I bet you they'd chip it pretty badly. But like the show must go on, right? It's hockey, everybody. It's hockey. And I know they talked about, the commentators talk about it because they talked to the what was the backup for the game, who ended up becoming the main guy, Casey DeSmith. He's like, yeah, the sun is just beaming on one side of the ice, right? So it was on the Boston side. The sun finally came down. Everything was a little less scary. I'm sure the ice was. You could visibly see the ice was like slightly melted constantly, and like especially in the first period. Um, but other than that, like, all right. So let's go ahead and roll into the game. The starting goaltenders for this evening or afternoon, technically, is a 2 o'clock game. Was Casey DeSmith or it's Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's just Jarry started. All right, he started for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then for the Boston Bruins, it was Linus Ullmark, who notably was 21-1 going into this game. And I saw that and I was like, uh-oh. This guy's a pretty confident goaltender out there. And I'm not knocking the whole pad thing, dude, but Olmark just looks beefy as a goaltender. He's just a big burly dude. Like he just looked beefy. Like I don't know if it's his pads, if he's a little chunky dude. Like he just looks beefy in that, which I guess that works because that's how Vasilevsky. That's what people always said about him, and he got a lot of Stanley Cups. So like, all right, but at the same time, it's Linus Olmark, and the Penguins used to light this guy up in Buffalo. So I know Boston and Buffalo are two totally different teams, and they play two totally different styles. So we were going to see what was going to happen, and we saw what happened. So the first period goes by, right? And there's some good opportunities there. Linus Ullmark shutting the door. Jari was shutting the door. A lot of good opportunities. The one thing about the Winter Classic that I don't like is how far away the fans are from the ice. Because like unless it was something super going on and everybody was involved in cheering, it was very quiet. It was a very quiet game. And even more so for the commentary. Like I could hear what was going on the ice a lot better sometimes than I could actually hear the commentators talking about what was going on the ice. I don't know if that was just because it's outside and the audio is it's a multi-billion-dollar company, right? The NHL is like you guys can make audio work. I literally have the most janky microphone setup anybody has ever seen. And I come out pretty clearly. I mean, if I don't, drop that in the comment section, tell me that I sound like garbage. But it didn't like I don't know, maybe they were like 10 feet away from their microphone or something. Like I don't know what was going on there. The audio was just really quiet for the commentators. First period winds down, nothing, 0-0. And at that point, um, I saw that Tristan Jarry had some stuff going on during the game. And then going into the second, a little bit into the second period, he got taken off of the ice with an apparent injury. He was laboring his right side. Looked like he might have pulled something maybe. Um, I haven't read anything yet about the injury, so I guess we'll see what happens. Um, Another point to make going into this game. Originally, Chris Letang was out. I thought originally it was for his lower body injury, which he's been out for the last couple of games for. His father had passed away. So, yeah, well, rest in peace, Chris Letang's father. Obviously, he's going to take as much time. This man's life is literally just one thing after another. And as a Penguins fan, as a fan of hockey in general, and when you look at a hockey player, um, this guy's had a lot of life changing experiences in the last few months, you know, but hopefully he can get past to get back to what he loves to do, or at least find an outlet in hockey to help him get through all of this. So best of love and wishes to Tanger over there. We're rolling on into the second period in 8 minutes and 40 seconds in. This is where this is what I thought would have to be the goals that actually get past Olmark at this point. I almost said Lolmark, like I put his first and last name together. Olmark at this point was just these quick, almost out of nowhere kind of goals, right? And Kapanen's pretty good at these. He's pretty good at getting these done. And we can see from two examples of what I mean. So the goal that actually goes in at 8:40 in the second period, Kapanen gets the puck from Heinen. It's literally a bing boom bang. Like it's do and it's in. Right. 1-0 Pittsburgh. And it's one of those goals where it's like it just happens. Like snap of the fingers just happens. Right. And then just a wee bit after, Kapanen's also in practically the same spot, but he has more time to think about the shot, and Olmark stops it. There's just that little bit of extra time Olmark has to get his body in the way in the shot, which if Kapanen was still a bit higher, it would have probably went in. It would have been a 2-0 game, but Olmark made a pretty good save there. So you know what? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Second period, other than that, there's some other wonderful saves on both ends. Casey DeSmith is still I will say he is the best backup goalie in the NHL. Just because he can take any situation and make something of it. And anything that happens in this game, it's not on the goalies. They're just lights out the entire game, essentially, except for a couple little missed opportunities. Going in 7:46 into the third period, Brad Marchand gets the puck over to DeBrusk, and DeBrusk puts it into the back of the net. And it was a goal where DeSmith looked as though he was being like moved around. He looked upset, like like he's nudged or something. But I guess nobody really noticed because the place literally exploded. Like Fenway literally blew up. All of Boston just went nuts. And it was one of those goals where it's like, as a hockey fan, you look at it and you go, "That's pretty cool." How the fans did that's pretty cool. As a Penguins fan who just got scored on, and then this happens to them, it's just like, yeah, there goes all the energy. It's gone. Boston has all the weight of their entire city on their shoulders now. They're going to be trying. This is bad. This is very bad. Um, and yeah, so it's 1-1, and then 10 minutes later, this is a good play by Krejci. Krejci gets the puck over to Hall. Hall goes to cut in front, hit a backhand. Doesn't get it, but it bounces over to DeBrusk. DeBrusk puts it into the back of the net. It's 2-1 Boston with a few minutes left in the game. And right at the end of the period, there's like 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I am watching that clock like religiously, staring at those 5 seconds because I watched it. Malkin was like a second off. If he would have shot the puck 1 second before he did, it would have been tied right at the end. But I guess the hockey gods and everybody that was there for the last Winter Classic that went on to overtime for a considerable amount of time were like, nah, nah. And it was one of those things where you look at it and it's like, Malkin puts it in the back of the net, like 0.5 seconds after the game's over, but it goes in the back of the net. And Omar is over there, and he knows it went in the back of the net. And at first, he's like disgruntled. He's like, no, how? Huh. Why have you done this? No. And Malkin's like, yeah. Oh. And the referee's waving it off. And then Olmark sees the referee visibly wave it off. And he's just like, woohoo! Like Homer Simpson or whatnot. Like, woohoo! It just goes nuts. And it's like, it's just one of those games. And you know what I mean? It's one of those, like, I guess you call it history making games, I guess. Something that people are going to talk about for a while, you know. And it was a very tough battled game. It wasn't a blowaway. It was very, very close to the last milliseconds of a game. Regardless what side you cheer for, it was close all the way. Your 3 stars of the game: first star, Jake DeBrusk; second star, Kasperi Kapanen; third star, Linus Ullmark, respectively. Shots on goal in favor of the Boston Bruins, 29-27. Again, close. Face-offs in Pittsburgh's favor, 56.2 to 43.8%. Power plays 3 apiece. None of them could score on. Penalty minutes tied. Hits in Boston's favor, 31-19. Block shots in Pittsburgh's favor, 17-16. Giveaways in Pittsburgh's favor, 7-9. Takeaways in Pittsburgh's favor, 11-3. But yeah, like I said, it is a very close game. It sucks that the Penguins lost, but at the end of the day, they were battling. Both teams are battling, but the Penguins, you can tell they were putting in maximum effort. Losing Jari partway through the game, that doesn't help, especially in the psyche. And then at the same time, being scored on, and then the entire city of Boston going nuts. It probably did a little bit on the psyche of the Penguins. Now, before we wrap up, usually this is the part where I say, "Hey, that's it." No, I just want to go ahead and say my opinion. All right, this is fully my opinion here. All right, and I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section below. But the Winter Classic is something that, in my opinion, my personal honest opinion, is something that should not be a thing. When you have a professional sport with professional athletes who are paid millions of dollars to do what they do, you should have the best conditions possible for them to do what they do. And every year, all I ever see every year is how poor the ice conditions are during the Winter Classic. Whether it's a blizzard going on all around them and nobody can see what's going on, if there's fog on the ice because of the weather, or if it's like today where it was nice out and the ice was thinner than a sheet of paper. Those are not proper conditions for a professional sport, right? It's not when you're playing on a surface with equipment that is extremely dangerous, mind you. These guys are all playing hockey on what are essentially samurai sword level sharp knives on their feet on ice, which is already an unpredictable surface. Having poor ice conditions in any aspect, from whatever example you want to give in past Winter Classics, is just, it's not, no. Just no, I mean, it's a cool spectacle. It's a great spectacle. Having it in Boston and everything that was about it was nice. It was a good spectacle, but it's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous, and I just don't. I don't see the risk with reward. I don't. I don't see it. That's just me though. But hey, that's it. The Pittsburgh Penguins fall 2-1 to the Boston Bruins in the Winter Classic for the first game of 2023 on this first video of 2023. If you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. I expect honesty around here. Boston fans, throw the hashtag Bruins in the comments section. Pittsburgh fans, throw hashtag Pens in the comments section. Give me your opinions about the Winter Classic. What you think. Is it dangerous? Is it worth it? Let me know what you think. Put it in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you like this kind of aspect, getting a Penguins fan's perspective or just a perspective on hockey. If you're new to hockey and you're just watching this because it popped up on your recommended page, just give it a little subscription. We are close to 20 subscribers. We never reached that limit before the end of 2022, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. But we're close. Let's get there. We can do it. I know we can do it. I know there's at least 20 people here that watch these videos. I know that you can subscribe. It's free. It's available. It takes 1 second. And then you can just watch at your leisure. Right? Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody.